Hey everybody, my name is Victor, welcome to Cars Jubilee, and this is my GV60 and my Ioniq 5. And we've got a combined 25 months of ownership, over 17,000 miles driven, over 800 hours of seat time. And through all that, I feel like I've learned 4 important things that I want to make sure all owners either already know or can learn today. Alright, let's start it off with mistake number 1. That would be driving in eco drive mode with iPedal regen engaged. Now, if you have a rear-wheel drive model, technically this is okay, but stick around and you'll see why I wouldn't recommend it. Well, if you have an all-wheel drive model, please don't drive in eco drive mode with iPedal regen engaged. Let me explain. So we have eco drive mode. Eco drive mode is programmed to shut off that front motor in the all-wheel drive models. Now it's doing it for the sake of efficiency, thus the name eco drive mode. Right, that's eco drive mode right here. But then we have iPedal regen. iPedal regen is programmed to keep both the front and the rear motors on permanently. iPedal regen is the strongest level of regenerative braking possible in our EVs, and to achieve that, the car has to keep both the front and the rear motors permanently on. Now, hopefully you just caught on where these two things, eco drive mode and iPedal, cannot really coexist at the same time, right? Eco drive mode wants to shut off that front motor. iPedal regen wants to keep that front motor on permanently. So what actually happens when you have eco drive mode and iPedal regen engaged? Well, eco drive mode loses. Basically, iPedal overrides eco drive mode, and even though you have eco selected, it forces the front and rear motors to remain on permanently. Eco drive mode essentially loses the eco ability of eco drive mode. Here, you can watch this clip. You'll see when I have eco drive mode selected along with iPedal regen at speeds above 15 miles per hour, it's sending power to both motors even though I'm just maintaining speed. I'm not really asking for more power. But as soon as I disengage iPedal, as soon as I switch to level 3 or level 2 or level 1, it doesn't matter, just anything but iPedal, well, all of a sudden you'll see I'm only powering the rear motor. Again, I'm maintaining speed above 50 miles per hour. It only needs the rear motor to just maintain speed. And so, eco drive mode and iPedal regen together are not a good combination at speeds above 15 miles per hour. And in fact, eco drive mode may not be worth the hassle at all, which leads to common mistake number 2. Mistake number 2 is thinking that you have to be in eco drive mode to get good range and efficiency. And that's just not true. And here's why. Eco drive mode actually only does 3 things. The first thing it does, as we just learned, hopefully, is that it can disconnect or shut off that front motor. The second thing that eco drive mode does is it limits your HVAC system, meaning if you're heating or cooling the car, you'll notice that it doesn't seem to be sending that much air through the system. Again, that's to save energy. And the third thing that eco drive mode does is it tinkers with your accelerator pedal feel, meaning it all of a sudden becomes really mushy and slow to respond, and also kind of dull and heavy feeling. What it's trying to do is encourage you to drive slower and smoother, again, to save energy. Now, here's a little secret that many people do not know. In normal or comfort drive modes, now comfort is Genesis' version of normal, in these drive modes, you actually can shut off the front motor as well. But there's actually something special about it because it becomes an on-demand system. What I mean is, if you're in normal or comfort and you're driving speeds above 50 miles per hour, if you mash the accelerator pedal and demand all that power, it's going to send power to the front and the rear motors. But as soon as you let off and start driving normally, it's going to shut off the front motor and then wait until you demand more power again. So like I said, it's an on-demand system. It gives it to you when you demand it, and when you don't need it, it shuts it off. Now, looking at the whole HVAC limiter, well, you can just turn down the fan speed. That's essentially what eco drive mode is doing. And this last one, that mushy, unresponsive, delayed accelerator pedal feel, well, it's just trying to make you drive slower, which you can do if you have control over your right foot. Now, I know with these EVs, that instant torque feeling is fun and addicting, so maybe you're forcing yourself to drive in eco mode so you don't keep on having too much fun. But if you have control over your right foot, you don't really need eco mode. The way I see it, there's not really any major benefits. I mean, if you're a rear-wheel drive model owner, it's essentially only doing two things for you. It's turning down your heating or cooling, and then it's making your accelerator pedal really mushy and slow. And if that's what you like, sure. But if you don't like that, well, there's really no reason to be driving in eco mode. And then if you're an all-wheel drive owner, well, it's actually kind of the same. It's limiting your heating and cooling. It's making the pedal really, really slow and unresponsive. And then it's turning off your front motor, which you can also do in comfort or normal modes. So again, there's not really any point to being in eco drive mode unless you like that delayed, mushy pedal feeling. Well, I'll take it a step further and actually say, I think you're better off driving in normal or comfort modes, especially if you have an all-wheel drive model. For one, you can get rid of that mushy, unresponsive, delayed pedal feel, which I personally dislike, but more importantly, you're no longer locked out from the front motor. So let's say you're in eco drive mode and you're taking a highway on-ramp and you're merging at 50, 60 miles per hour, and you see this window of opportunity that you have to take. You go foot to the floor and you're thinking, why is this car so slow? I have 320 horsepower, but it sure doesn't feel like it. Well, that's because you've been locked out of your front motor by choice, because you selected eco drive mode. Now, technically, you could just go ahead and hit that drive mode button and switch it to normal or sport, but there is a little bit of a delay, and sometimes you just don't have the concentration or the hands in the right position to hit that drive mode button and then wait for it all to switch over. If you're in normal already, you just hit that accelerator pedal and the front motor immediately fires on and you have all the power that you need. What about the range and efficiency hit of being in eco versus normal or comfort? I haven't really noticed a difference. I'm still getting really good range and efficiency. With my Ioniq 5, I've seen over 370 estimated miles at a full charge, 100%. In actuality, real driving range with HVAC system running, I've seen 340 to 350 in my all-wheel drive during the spring months and during the summer months. Now with this GV60 Performance, which has a bigger front motor than my Ioniq 5, I've seen about 312, I think was the highest estimated miles. And in actuality, I've seen about 290, I think, somewhere around there. And these numbers completely shatter the EPA ratings. So clearly the car can do really, really well in normal and comfort modes, to the point where I just don't think people need to be driving in eco mode, especially if you recently got the battery preconditioning update, which completely transforms the eco drive mode into a super slow eco drive mode that's almost undrivable for highway merges and city stop and go traffic where you need to get out to speed and just get out of the way. I actually still have that version running on my Ioniq 5, and I never use it. Once you're at speed, sure, go for it if you want, but getting up to speed, it's kind of useless. And so that's why I would say you don't need eco drive mode to get good range and efficiency. You can do that in normal and comfort modes. Just make sure you stay out of IPedal, because that's what we talked about as the first common mistake. All right, just a quick plug. We have an Amazon affiliate store now. You can check it out. There's links to all products and accessories that I've personally tested and reviewed for my Ioniq 5 and my GV60. Now, a lot of these will work for other EVs as well. As an Amazon affiliate, I do earn a very, very small percentage of purchases you make through the affiliate store. We're talking like a few percent, so nothing crazy, but it does help support our channel. So please do check out the store. I'll continue to add products that we've been testing. And now back to your normal program. On to the third common mistake that a lot of Ioniq 5, GV60, EV6, etc., etc., etc. owners are making. And that would be letting your car sit below 20% state of charge and then not plugging it in. Here's an example of what I mean. Let's say you're getting home from work, you pull into the driveway and you see, oh, I'm at 17% state of charge. That's fine. So you just leave it, you shut it off, and you don't plug it in or charge it. And then one of these days in the morning, as you're rushing out to get to work, you come out to the car and you notice, oh wait, it's not presenting the door handles. It doesn't seem to be unlocking. So then you go ahead and press the button on the outside, still not unlocking. You take out your remote fob, you press unlock, still not unlocking. So then you resort to actually taking out the physical key, you open the door, you get in the car, you press that EV start stop button, and the car won't start. What's going on? Well, what's happened is that your car battery died. Now, not your main battery, but your 12-volt battery. Our EVs still have a small 12-volt battery that powers accessories in the car, as well as the ability to lock, unlock your car, as well as the ability to actually start your car. Hyundai has programmed the main battery in the car to actually charge that little 12-volt battery anytime it needs it, which gets more and more frequent. You'll notice this little orange or amber or light on your dash, in I think the US market at least. When it turns on, that means your 12-volt battery is getting charged. Now, a very important detail that you need to know is that Hyundai set a limit. Hyundai programmed the main battery to stop charging the 12-volt battery when your main battery reaches below 20% state of charge. So if you're at 17% state of charge, it's not going to charge a 12-volt. And if it doesn't charge that 12-volt battery, well, at some point, that thing's gonna die. And this is actually a very common and known issue. Our 12-volt batteries just don't last very long. It's supposed to last 4 or 5 years, but it's pretty common at this point to see replacements at 4 to 5 months. And part of that has to do with phantom drain issues, meaning everything's off and you're away from the car, but for some reason, something's still pulling power from the 12-volt battery. And so that 12-volt battery is constantly cycling on and off, on and off, on and off, and it just doesn't last very long. And so that's my big piece of advice for mistake number 3. Keep your battery above 20% state of charge if you're gonna let it sit. Otherwise, one of these days, it's only a matter of time, you're gonna come back to the car and it's just gonna be dead. And now on to our 4th and final common mistake. And this might actually be the most common mistake, and that's just not understanding the car's range or efficiency. Here are some examples that you might have heard. Hey, I bought my car and it's supposed to get 260 miles of range, but I've only been getting about 200 miles of range. I think my car is broken. And here's another one. Someone maybe posts something saying, hey, I got over 300 miles of range recently on a full charge, and other people chime in like, how in the world is that possible? That's even more than EPA rating. What's happening is a lot of owners just don't understand range and efficiency. So I've posted a ton of videos on my YouTube channel. There's also a lot of resources out there that talk about and explain a lot of this stuff. But owners, do yourself a favor and make sure you understand this stuff, because it really will help you. Let me give you another example. Let's say you charge your car to 100% and it says 260 miles of range. And then you set off on a road trip. And during this road trip, you hit -10 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's really cold outside. And you're also in a snowstorm, and it's snowing really hard, it's really windy, and you're going 80 miles per hour. Now, if you're someone like me who has spent a lot of time looking and analyzing and learning about range and efficiency, that should have set off a ton of red flags. But if not, well, this is why we're here. Number 1, -10 degrees Fahrenheit is really, really cold. Your battery just doesn't like it when it's cold. Not only that, but you're probably blasting the heat. So right off the bat, that's probably around 50 miles of range lost. It's gone because of the temperature, because of the heating. Second thing was the snowstorm. Now, wind and snow and rain and other things, those affect your range. It's making it harder for your car to move forward through the air. And that could be like a 20-mile range loss because of those conditions. And the third part was the whole driving 80 miles per hour. Now with EVs, higher speeds mean much less efficiency. You would go a lot farther just by driving slower. And at 80 miles per hour versus 65, that could be easily a 30-mile range loss as well. So just between those three things, that's already 100 miles of range just gone, like poof. A lot of people that are not really understanding the car's range and efficiency will look at the 260 miles that they started with and then realize halfway through, oh my gosh, we're not gonna make it there. Well, that's because you didn't have an understanding of what these outside factors can do to your range and efficiency. And so that's why I think it's really important. You need to educate yourself about what this guessometer is. I mean, it's called a guessometer because that's what it's doing. It's guessing. But if you're relying on it to guess for you, well, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to think that this car is letting you down and not achieving the range that it's supposed to. Your car's probably not broken. It's just reacting to all these different outside factors. And what really needs to happen is you need to be part of the process. You need to learn and understand what range and efficiency is and how these factors will affect it, so that when your guessometer isn't very accurate, then you still know, hey, what's really going to happen here. Because if you rely just on the guessometer or just rely on the so-called EPA estimated range, you're going to have a horrible ownership experience because this car will never meet your range expectations. So again, I highly recommend that you take time to learn and understand what's going on. I have a bunch of YouTube videos that I made previously. I'll link all of them in the video description, so check those out. And of course, if you have questions, feel free to reach out. And so that's it. Those are the 4 common mistakes that a lot of owners are making that hopefully moving forward you can avoid making. For your Ioniq 5, your GV6, your EV60, your Ioniq 6, your GV70 electrified, your G80 electrified, upcoming EV9, the Ioniq 7, and whatever else Hyundai Group comes up with. Check out all those videos that I linked in the description. Also check out our Amazon affiliate store if you're looking for some cool accessories. As always, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.